So my name's Tom Leeming. I've been playing music since I was about 13, so about 14 years now. I've been taking it seriously.
I'm Isaac Costanzo. I am a musician slash performer, and I've been playing for 6 years.
Let's go. I first started performing on the streets probably about 5 years ago, if that. Probably about 3 years ago, honestly. I'd gotten sick of gigs and playing sort of background music to people, and I wanted to perform more. So I thought busking would be a good idea, and I love it now. I do it 100% of the time instead of gigs. So.
Busking is something that means honestly a lot to me because it's really about connecting with people, not really about yourself. It's about sharing your own story or your own presentation to the world.
To me, busking, it's a lot freer of a performance than a gig. For a gig, you've got to play what people want. You've got to fit a certain aesthetic. When you busk, you can do what you feel is best. You can play what you enjoy, and if other people enjoy it, then even better.
I'll try a little tune I know called Tennessee Whiskey. Someone might have one straight away. I've lied to you. It's the only one I don't know. I can do Piano Man, 100%. All right, forget Tennessee Whiskey. We're going straight to Piano Man.
I love it when the crowd gets involved. That's a big part of my performance, is getting people involved, having a laugh with people. It creates an atmosphere, it creates an environment for people. Practice-wise, I mean, for anyone who was going to busk, I'd say learn the fundamentals, learn the basics. I don't really practice songs anymore because I do requests on the spot, so they're not perfect.
Anything you'd like to hear, ladies and gentlemen? Slayer? This is the wrong instrument for that, there you go.
But as long as you've got a good idea of what you're doing and you're comfortable doing it, then you play whatever you feel is right.
Figure out the words that I should be singing once I was 20 years old.
Now, being unique's a tough one. It's something I've struggled with because we all want to fit into a certain degree. But when you perform, you've got to stand out a little bit. And I think if you can find what makes your personality unique, that's the best thing. If you can connect with people in that way, that's what's going to make a busker unique, rather than, say, wearing something novelty.
Hang on a minute, ladies. One at a time. First time I've ever said that. Dancing on my own. All right. Children, that means I don't have many friends.
I think wherever there are buskers, it creates an environment for people to enjoy themselves. So if people walking through Cavill with no buskers, it would just be about shopping, which people enjoy just as much. But if they can stop and listen to someone perform, it can make people's day, really.
Song you wouldn't mind absolutely ruined, I Am Your Man.
It's fairly easy in Gold Coast. I know in places like Sydney and Melbourne, there's audition processes. Even in Brisbane, there's an audition. It's fairly easy here, it's cheap, it's $53 for the year, I think. It's simple, you go online, fill in the details, they'll review it, simple as that. I do think it's worth paying for a permit. It sort of requires you to be half decent before you can go out. Like I was saying, in WA, there were a few buskers who weren't at a certain level, and a lot of shops around, they did get annoyed by that. So I think if you've got a bit of a process to vet who's going out on the street and busking, it probably makes for a better experience. I think it's important for buskers to get permits because it allows the council to sort of dictate who should be out there and who shouldn't. So if you've got, say, a 5-year-old who's just learning violin, it might be very cute, but if she's screeching on that violin, you're going to have shops that are annoyed, you're going to have passers-by who are annoyed. So I think it's important to try and put the best they can out into Gold Coast. And if you don't have any sort of dictated spots of where people should be, then you could have someone set up 5 meters from you and start playing, and it would be unfair. It gives everyone a chance, I think, if there's rules and regulations. That is an issue in itself because it's the same as WA. There's one main street and so many performers that sometimes you sort of get on top of each other. So it would be nice to be a bit more spread out, but it's hard with even the layout of Cavill. And they literally are maybe like 15 meters from each other. So it's like you're competing for volume, and then you're getting louder and louder, and the council are telling everyone to turn down. That's sort of the importance of having a permit, is there's a set of rules and regulations that everyone has to follow. So you can't be there for hours on end. You can't have multiple speakers. You have to give other people a chance and things like that. I get down there to busk whenever I can. If someone's in front of me, I usually ask how long they've got left, park up behind them. If someone else comes up behind me, I'll try and let them know, because people are sometimes a bit scared to come and ask and say, oh, how long have you got left? I'll try and let them know I'll be here another 30 minutes or so, and then I'm more than welcome to take over.
I guess it's a matter of time where you choose to perform on the streets, and you might get lucky, you might have your spot free for you to perform for 1 or 2 hours, but maybe the next week someone could be there.
Biggest challenges I've faced is probably just getting along with other buskers. We're all out there trying to work in our own way, so it's trying to find common ground with someone who might not want to give you any. I did a lot of my learning in WA as for busking. I've had people who are a lot louder than I am now, and people in WA are a lot more clicky. If you don't get along with them, they won't move for you. As for Gold Coast, everyone's pretty good so far. As I say, there can be issues with volume levels being so close to other performers.
My experience as a busker so far has been honestly amazing. Crowd has been amazing. People involved, getting involved, dancing, singing along, honestly makes my day. And I guess it's awesome how people can connect with your music and shows the world who you are as a person and what you want to do with your life. I guess some of the challenges you face is sometimes the weather. It'll be like sunny, perfect day for busking, then the next day it might be bucketing down with rain. Can't do much about it. And some of the other challenges is that you got to get the permits sorted. Some people can't even afford that, so they just want to go out and play, which is understandable.
I would recommend busking to anyone who does the arts. It's a great way to build confidence. It's a great way to learn. Instead of just practicing all the time on your own, you're really thrown in the deep end, which I think can be really beneficial.
Thank you very much, guys.
I think it does. I think busking gives you an opportunity to grow. It helps you get more confident. I think you learn a lot about yourself the more you perform. So whether it's at gigs, whether it's at busking, wherever it is, the more you perform, the better you'll get. Practice makes perfect.
To be honest, busking does give each individual a great opportunity to grow, and it builds your confidence, it gives you opportunity to show who you are to the world, and it's a great way to connect with your audience.
I don't know if I know it. I know the song, I just don't know if I'll be able to sing it properly.
I have sung an original song while busking. People will ask for it from time to time. I'm picky. I think over the last month or two, I've written some of my best songs. I struggle because a lot of the original songs I perform are a bit older, and I want to perform some of my new ones. People tend to like covers more than originals because they know covers, they can sing along. There is more of a select audience for originals, but I think it's a great place to perform them, great place to get audience feedback.
Thank you. You need to be taken change.